Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I am All in Crypto, and today we are going to look at a recent interview from Bloomberg where they interview Jay Clayton and someone from Pantera in regards to a number of things, but the majority of the interview is spent talking about the cryptocurrency market. Now, who is Jay Clayton? He is the former chairman of the SEC. He is who Gary has replaced. And actually, he was very much a hawk on the crypto space. He pretty much shut down the ICO craze. However, he has some exceptionally interesting comments to make in regards to crypto, blockchain, and some of what's going on today in regards to regulatory framework and moving forward. So I thought this would be a really interesting video. And important given all the uncertainty that there currently is within the cryptocurrency space right now. You guys know that we remain optimistic and positive on the cryptocurrency space from a price point of view. And in regards to this technology and what we think it's going to do for the world, it is fundamentally changing not just the financial industry, but multiple others. And it is still within its infancy. It's my absolute belief that in tomorrow's world, we will all be using blockchain, many of us without even knowing it, in the same way that we use the internet, we have phones, we drive cars. These are all technological revolutions that have came before us. So without further ado, guys, let's get into the first clip of Jay Clayton talking about the cryptocurrency market in light of the recent actions brought by Gensler and the SEC against Binance and Coinbase.
If you were SEC chair, would you have taken these moves?
Look, it's his leadership now. He's been in this position for over 2 years. Where they've gone with this, I'm not going to be the person who throws bombs or second guesses from the sidelines. I am a supporter of the agency. I'm a supporter of the law the way it is. I think that when I was there, people would say I was a crypto hawk. We effectively shut down the ICO craze, said that most of what I'm seeing is securities activity. But I do think we are having very blunt conversations about something that requires nuance. Crypto is really a technology. The use of blockchain technology in all sorts of aspects of our financial system should be not controversial. If you have an asset, pick a CMBS security, represented in tokenized form,
Right.
there ought to be a way to custody that, transfer it, because it's probably going to be more efficient than what we're doing today. So there is a crypto use case that is clear, uncontroversial. We ought to be thinking about how to do that. I am remarkably impressed by the functionality of true stablecoins, not the algorithmic stablecoin, not the liquidity transformation stablecoin, but a true backed by the same thing that we back bank accounts by. Okay, let's just put it that way. Or backed by the same thing that you would back a repo by. Something like that, a true stable coin, a remarkable technology at the retail level to be able to transfer dollars around the world. I mean, we use $100 bills in cash for a lot of things. I say we, not the populace, but people outside the United States. Wouldn't a stable coin be a better way to do that? Wouldn't it be better for KYC? Wouldn't it be better for AML? I think so. I think we ought to be looking at that technology.
Some very interesting comments there. That's the first clip. We've got 4 more or 3 more to show you. 4 more, sorry. We've really highlighted Jay Clayton's comments throughout this because they're interesting. A bit of praise there for the cryptocurrency market. I can't help but feel as if there's a real silver lining here in regards to what's going on. This could be the very thing that propels crypto into the kind of mainstream adoption in the Western world, certainly the United States. We've seen a lot more friendly regulation in regards to Europe, even the UK in opposition with what the United States is doing, or the SEC, I should say specifically. So that was very interesting. He then goes on to talk about a number of other things in regards to regulations. We'll get straight into this clip. We'll fire through the clips, guys, and then I'll round everything up. On the silver lining topic, it's very interesting that we are looking at upside for XRP. Significant upside. That would suggest that the case is going to go in their favor. And there's been a number of evidential points up until whenever the settlement occurs. Who knows if it would be 3 days, 10 days down the line, a week, a month. But whenever that settlement occurs, we think it's going to go in XRP's favor, and actually the entire asset space's favor. What do you think would happen, given the severity and the panic, if this turns on its head? You know, remember the sort of Chinese farmer and the horse tale about the horse running off, and everyone says it's terrible. It comes back. Everyone says it's great. He says maybe to both of these, and then his son goes out and plays with a horse. It kicks him in the leg, and he breaks his leg, and everyone says it's terrible. And then the commissioner comes around and tries to recruit him, but he can't. So on and so forth. I think there's a real silver lining in all this. Let's go ahead and play the second clip of Jay Clayton.
400 million people.
Yeah, let me make a point on the cases. The allegations in the cases, again, in FTX and in Binance, it's reprehensible behavior. Nobody wants it in our financial system. But it's not on the blockchain. It's commingling. It's fraudulent representations to the extent true. It's not as if the technology failed or the technology had some sort of fundamental problem.
So then how do you think of the role of crypto and blockchain? And I know we kind of lump a lot of stuff together, but how do you think about it, Jay, going forward? So it's not going away, and the U.S. is not going to not have a role in it.
What do we know? We know that it's unlikely, blockchain is unlikely to be going away. We do need to update our technology stack in the financial system.
Right.
No one disagrees with that. It's not going away. What's also not going away is rigorous regulation of retail investment products. That's not going away. Those two things have to be reconciled. And that's where we stand today. And they're being reconciled in the courts, being reconciled in other places. But I think the blunt approach that blockchain, crypto is somehow bad is wrong. And the blunt approach that our traditional regulatory framework is somehow completely overbroad is also wrong.
Because some of the reporting...
Very interesting, guys. You know, there's lots of real alpha, I think, in what he's saying here. Isn't it interesting how he's sort of coming out and defending the crypto space, saying that there's real use case for it, certainly in this instant in regards to the traditional financial system that needs updating. You know, it's very interesting what we're seeing across the board. And I still think there's a massive opportunity here with the crypto space. I think the majority of downside is over. For certain altcoins, we think that's already true. For Bitcoin, for others, we put in a marginally lower low and back where we were in January. So let's go straight on to the second clip, because this is encouraging to say the least and quite oppository to or opposite to Gensler and his sort of tyrannical enforcement. Let's go ahead and get into the next clip.
Where we prioritize.
And we have a few data points recently that support what Dan is saying. Other governments are supporting blockchain-based issuances of sovereign debt. So they're saying, you know, and we all know that at the core of every financial system is the sovereign debt.
Right.
And if you're going to modernize, you're going to modernize your technology stack, starting with sovereign debt, repo, that type of thing, is a very effective way to do it. It's interesting that we're turning away from that when other countries are now turning back toward it.
Very interesting indeed, what he's saying there. You know, we know actually of some cryptocurrencies that he's talking about in regards to Italy. We know that a blockchain company or a blockchain, the foundation of that blockchain actually partnered with this bank to issue securities. We've seen Polygon actually, in regards to Siemens, look to issue, I think, a bond on there. You know, we're seeing this become more and more the thing, but not necessarily in the United States because of this. I think eventually that dam will burst and you'll have this insane wall of money that's going to hit the crypto space because it will get the green light. America's a very important market. It's not, you know, the be all and end all, but it's exceptionally important. The world is moving towards blockchain, ladies and gentlemen. This is just part and parcel of the course, unfortunately. It's teething problems. This is why we're doing this video, because what Jay Clayton is saying here is exceptionally interesting. Let's move on to the next clip.
I do wonder, too, what's interesting in terms of regulatory framework when it comes to new technology. We've all been spending, and a lot of folks here at Invest have talked about AI, the next level, generative, machine learning. How do you think about the SEC needs to think about new technology? Is it a case of new framework for new technology? Or is it a case of new technology has to adjust to old framework? Or is that what tripped us up with crypto, Jay?
I think what tripped us up with crypto was the belief that new technology would bend the regulatory framework, that the new technology in the financial world would do what the new technology did in the taxi cab world, where it broke down arcane regulation. But the point I make on this is the core of taxi cab regulation was passenger safety, or at least it was supposed to be. The Ubers, the Lyfts, they didn't really break down passenger safety. In fact, they went there. They were breaking down something else. I think a lot of what I would say is the early crypto, the ICO, was actually breaking down investor protection, very much so.
Right.
Can't do that.
I think that's a very fair comment. You know, there has been a lot of shenanigans going on in the crypto space, but what Jay Clayton clearly says is, you know, you can't tarnish everything with the same brush here. There is undoubtedly, and it depends how much of a free marketeer you are, you know, in regards to how you look at all this, but there has undoubtedly been a lot of outright scams taking place in the crypto space, dishonesty, shilling, you name it, that shouldn't be going on and is in direct breach of a lot of things. But Gensler's approach, I don't think is going to be the winning approach. Let's move on. We've got 2 more clips and then we'll round this video up. Very helpful. What a lot has been said already. Let's get into the next clip, guys.
What you can share.
No, I think the common theme is what's the end state.
Yeah.
You know, obviously there's disagreements. There's disagreements around classification. There's disagreements around methods to get there. If we're going to have tokenized trading of things that are securities, which I think many of them are, things that are commodities, and things that are others. Let's just pick one. Tickets. How about Taylor Swift tickets? Okay?
Yeah.
Like a market that's really important.
Yeah.
Market that's really
That's
deep.
my daughter.
Right? Really, it's as deep as many shows as she wants to play.
Right.
Like, are we going to regulate the trading of tickets?
Are you a STEM professional?
Very interesting where he's going with that in regards to tickets being perhaps a use case for the blockchain. You know, we very much agree with that and think that that's in line with, again, start of the video, everything's going to be on a blockchain. Why? Because it's simply better. It enhances the systems that we already have. And if you implement it, it really not only challenges the systems that we have, which is what Bitcoin was here to do, but it really sort of emphasizes and makes things more efficient, more accountable, more verifiable, so on and so forth. Let's play the second half of that.
Sponsored in the same way that we regulate securities? I don't think so. I'm sorry?
Why not? Somebody asked.
I don't. Let me ask you this: Do you think that for Taylor Swift's immense popularity, we should apply that to the rest of the ticket industry? So if I'm selling tickets to a 50-seat theater and trying to do it, that I've got to go through SEC compliance?
Well, maybe not 50, but 1,000.
Okay, now we're having a real conversation about where you draw those lines. It's an important conversation.
Right.
And what I think Dan will tell you is, I mean, he's much more a proponent, or I shouldn't say much more a proponent, much more understands the power of blockchain technology. There's going to be a lot of things, and maybe it's Swift tickets, maybe it's what do you earn when you play video games? Something bucks.
Oh, what is it?
Yeah.
$3.
No. What are the trading of fungible items that are not securities, not traditionally commodities? What's it going to look like in the future? It's a really good question.
Exciting question, to say the least. You know, we really do think that blockchain is going to run all these things. GameFi is a huge industry that we're invested in. You know, we think that blockchain is literally going to integrate with most things. Not just the financial arena, the gaming industry, the identity industry, you know, you name it. Some of it for the worst in regards to surveillance and so on and so forth. Some of it for the better. It's certainly, if we look at sort of the developing nations and how blockchain can really raise people up and give them access to things, not just within their own country, but globally, that they once didn't have access to. Final clip, guys, and then we'll wrap it up.
You agree, Jay?
I'll pitch you.
Look, banks.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, banks serve an incredibly important function, and they have been the source of liquidity transformation throughout the growth of our economy.
Until private lending.
Well, but what have we seen?
Yeah.
Technology has enabled an evolution in credit creation, and we're in the middle of it. Banks are going to be here 10, 15, 20, 50 years from now. They're going to provide services, but the banking industry's dominance of credit formation, that's a thing of the past.
So let me pitch this as a stablecoin idea. I invest 15 million of capital in my stablecoin project, and then I go sell to the public 190 million of stablecoins. I take the proceeds and I buy $210 million worth of risky assets. I promise the stablecoin people incredible liquidity. With the smartphone, they can get their money back same day, unlimited amount. I also, when asked, like, isn't 13-to-1 leverage kind of aggressive? I'm honest. I say, hey, if the risky assets go up, I'm keeping all the profits. If they go down, I'm going to stiff the taxpayer. That's what a bank is.
Look, I'll put.
Oh, we'll leave that there, guys. Getting a little bit intense in regards to those two. Both I think, got both very good takes. It's very interesting. It's good to play sort of maybe. It's very clear that Jay Clayton and Gary Gensler disagree on many things. The manner of which they're doing things, to say the least, is disagreeable. But we'll see what the outcomes are. There's a silver lining in this, guys. Actually, regulations have always been something we've expected. Probably should have expected and foresaw a little bit more of this than we did. But they, I believe, are a key component, like any technological revolution, into, certainly in the United States, perhaps not further afield and around the rest of the world as much, but in the United States, getting that sort of adoption there and unlocking all the capital that comes with that. On that note, I'm going to love and leave you. If you've enjoyed the content, like as always, appreciate it. So, as a comment, I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching, ladies and gents. See you in the next.